So I have a pre-prepared sample of NX. Let me go ahead and load that up real quick. And if I load it up, oh, let's close this one real quick. That's why we're not closing that out. There we go. Okay, so here I've got NX, and within this particular example, I'll pause it here. We have active workspace. So if we slide over active workspace, the same thing you see over there in the web browser. Say we're looking for a component piece, and we just know the first part identifier, maybe descriptor, part number. This particular instance, say we type in PLA or plate. We quickly get results, and say I wanted to go ahead and find something that looks like this hub. There's a shape search you can actually do, and it'll find all the hubs that kind of look like the one that we selected. And as you cycle through the different options you have, say you want to find one that's a little smaller, has less number of holes in it, I could actually search against that particular shape again inside the database and bring up the different results that were more particular to the one I selected. Once I get my various options, I can go ahead and do a compare fairly quickly, look at the different metadata, and then from there load it into my CAD session. So here got a quick example of loading the actual component piece into, say, NX. Once I have it loaded up, I can go ahead and quickly modify, make use of, reuse the data that's been presented to me, quickly make my modifications, save out my part. This could be an assembly, could be a draft file, could be anything, but again, we're utilizing active workspace within the CAD product to give us that functionality. If we take a look at, say, active workspace, say we go ahead and switch over, and I already had one already going. So say, kind of what this looks like without, say, the CAD product. This is working within the browser. Again, doing a search for, started off with particular set of digits over here. So say plate or something. I don't know the entire part number. We can go ahead and search for that, and while we wait, there we go. We can go ahead and search for that, and it's going to search, give me all the plates that are within this database. Say I pick a particular component, and I'd say one of my questions is how many of these little brackets do we actually have within our database. So say I do a shape search against it. These are all the different components now. Now I can go ahead and switch down. I got a lot of variations. So I've got brackets with holes, I got brackets without holes, brackets with 2 holes. I can search against, say I know a particular user, he created a certain set. I could go ahead and filter my search out for them. It's like I know Peter created one that kind of what I'm looking for. If I go with it and say, okay, you know what, let's go ahead and search against that particular shape. Again, I'm looking at metadata, I'm looking at shape sizes. There's a lot of different little nuances I can take a look at. So for this particular one, say it doesn't have a hole right there in the back, I could pick it. There's also different criteria. So I can look for a lot of the same component and filter it on out, and my filter list should get a lot smaller. Or I could turn it over. Oh, I'm backwards, my bad. Similar, that's why I got a screw. So kind of like the same shape and fairly close to the shape. So you'll see them go down. The more identical I go, the least amount of parameters I get from my search. I expand it out. Again, kind of looking at the different shape, and it's just doing a quick comparison. I could also adjust the size on it. Once I find what I'm looking for, say this guy over here, I could go ahead and open it up. Looking at the different pieces of data that are available to me. Look at the item ID. Look who was created by. If it had any mass, weight. Utilize the visualization. If the visualization was important, say I didn't have a CAD product, I could go ahead and load it up, spin it around, do some quick measurements on it if need be. But again, it's a different way of interacting with the database. Instead of actually looking for, say, particular part numbers, looking for particular, metadata, things like that. It's just a different way that we can go in and interact with the database and do searches and try to find the information that we're going for using some new technologies that are out there. So for this particular instance, say I wanted to go ahead and narrow down and find, the hub. These all have different types of holes in them. I could adjust my searches. I could count the number of holes that I needed. Search my parameters. Say I need something to look like this guy. Again, once I find it within Active Workspace, launch it within my CAD product. Do my CAD product, then I could do whatever I need to. If I'm inside of an X, I could go File, Save As. If I'm in Solid Edge, I could do the same thing. Or if it was a more robust, say, an assembly, load up Structure Editor, different tools like that. So we got there's some different ways, new technologies that are coming out there with Active Workspace and within a managed environment to kind of help you search and get to the data you're looking for, but kind of get there in a different way, and reusing the data. That way you spend less time searching and more time actually designing and getting the parts that you look for. So if you get a chance, get your hands on the shape search. Is fairly easy to do. You saw me do it. It's kind of a new thing. It's kind of exciting. So it's the kind of things that, anything that makes your life easier is better for us. So with that, I now turn it back over to Carter. Thanks a lot.